Good morning, Kaylin. So nice to see you here. Now, you guys, why don't we get into our next story of the day? We've got our girl, our homegirl, Kail Lowry. And listen, I'm trying to tie up my hair, but it's so heavy because I just washed it. Um, Kail Lowry has been crashing out on Instagram. I don't know what got her spiraling, but she is spiraling and she is spiraling hard. And listen, granted, her ex-husband, Javi Marroquin, did go on his Instagram and he laid it all out about her and her social media parenting and all sorts of things. But the most important thing about his rant was that he accused Kail of having a new boyfriend, bringing this new boyfriend around her children, and making plans to move this new boyfriend into her house, right? And so the fact that Kail, in her latest crash out over Javi's Instagram live, is still refusing to answer to that is crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. It just shows you more and more that everything he said was 100% true. And the only thing that she can try to dispute at this point, because the U-Haul van is already there to pick up her new man and bring him around, give him 24-hour access to her, young defenseless children, is true. She's going to go after him for the other stuff, claiming that she doesn't hang out with these kids as much as she wants you to believe that she does, right? So take a look at some of the photos that she shared. So here she is. Listen, granted, it's a wonderful photo. It's her and some of her children, 3 out of 7, on a boat. And it says the nanny and all the kids. Babe, you've got 7 kids. This is 3. 7 minus 3 is 4, aka with some of the kids, the minority of the kids, right? And then she posted this other photo over here of her and Lux also on the boat. And this time she had said, hang on, let me zoom it in because my eyes are bad. She said, being neglectful and pretending to be present. So look, she obviously was extremely, extremely hurt by these comments. And it's not only Javi that says this. Chris Lopez has been saying this on his own Instagram lives and rants as well. So I feels like she really sees the walls closing in on her, public opinion turning against her and whatnot. And lastly, she posted this photo of Lux and Creed at a cottage, I assume, or a lake house, saying, posting to make myself look like a good mom, but I'm not. Who asked for this? And what does any of this have to do with the most important issue that Javi raised on Instagram? The most important issue here, Kail, is that you allegedly have a new boyfriend, which is not a problem, right? Go have as many boyfriends as you want. However, the issue is that you have yet another boyfriend that your children have already met before they've even healed from the breakup with the other one. Both Javi and Chris have said that their children are out here crying over Elijah leaving the house and breaking up the family and everything and cheating on you. And they're not over it. And you already have a new boyfriend that they're meeting, and you're moving this man into your house. Like, you didn't learn your lesson after you already moved Elijah into your house within like 2 weeks of boning him. On the show Teen Mom, Dr. Drew and Nessa, they used to bring this up to you girls about how dangerous it is for single mothers to be introducing men to their children, let alone allowing men to randomly move in with them and their children. It is incredibly, incredibly dangerous. And if I were Kail, and I already caught a lot of heat for getting knocked up by 4, potentially 5 different men, the last one within the span of about 2 weeks, allegedly, right? Moving him around the kids, and then that blowing up in my face and whatnot. This is the first part of Javi's rant that I would be denying. I would be vehemently denying this, screaming it from the rooftops. No, I do not have a new boyfriend. No, I did not introduce a new boyfriend to my children. I would not do that. My kids have already been through so much, right? We are all just trying to get through this separation together as a family. It wouldn't be healthy for me to bring a new man around my children. Me and my fiance only broke up 2 months ago. That is what Kail should be saying. And that is what Kail would be saying if it were true, except it's not. Kail, unfortunately, is reckless and irresponsible. And she does have a new boyfriend. And this new boyfriend has met the children. And I do believe that this new boyfriend, she did plan for him to move in with her and the kids as well. And it's still so mind-blowing because her youngest kids, like, they can barely even speak. They're still, like, her youngest 3 children are still in diapers. And again, she and her fiance broke up just a couple months ago. Like, it was weeks between the breakup and her going public with her new boyfriend on TikTok, being all lovey-dovey on his comment section, which to me leads me to believe she was already low-key cheating and that this relationship was already over and that they were just putting on airs for social media, right? Huckleberry says, when was the last time Kail took a pic with all her kids? I don't know. I have to go back and look. Allie says, where are all the life jackets on those kids? Ooh, Kail, look what you did. You woke up the hornet's nest. Tadisha says, every time Kail has her tea spilled, it's immediately a moment to crash out, but she can go around spilling everyone else's tea, period. Javi's no saint, but I'm glad he did that live. Same here. And I'm still so pissed about the way that she dogged V out. She was like, V never wants to be honest on her podcast. That's why I had to get rid of her ass, blah, blah. I exploit my life. She just wanted to make money off me and use me and like ride my coattails while I spill everything. I'm so open. I'm so honest. Meanwhile, she still hasn't even officially confirmed the breakup and talked about what happened. She still hasn't even really fully acknowledged this new boyfriend of hers. So come on, right? Come on. Hey, East Awesome. We've missed you, boo. How are you doing? How are you doing? Maybe in a different photo, but in this one, I think it's only Isaac that has his on, but then Lux does have it on in another one. So I guess we're taking it on and off, depending on if they were eating or doing whatever on the boat. I'm just so sad for these kids. I really am. It's too much. It's too dangerous. And it's really unacceptable what she's doing to them, just psychologically, and the risk that she is putting them at for abuse as well, with these random men. You don't even know these men. And you're already like, here, have a key to my house, come live around my children. Like, that's scary. Like, that is absolutely terrifying. Right. And you know what? Let's don't be. I don't even know what to say. It is just such a freaking mess. Melen says, I know Kail is a wacko, but her love, because she's the only progressive person on Teen Mom. Good morning, Ruby. Nice to see you. Double E says, justice for Javi. And listen, I think a lot of people do believe what Javi is saying, especially given that Kail has not outright denied. In fact, she went on a podcast and kind of like hinted that he was right, and said that she's going to speak about these things in her own time. And you know what else is really interesting is that she's still crashing out to the point where she didn't even release a new episode of the Coffee Convos podcast this week. Instead, they did a throwback to an old episode. And this is the second time in the last month that, since Javi's post, that she hasn't released a new episode of the Coffee Convos podcast. So it's bad. It really is just bad. And in fact, I actually wouldn't be surprised if Javi were to try to file for an emergency custody hearing. Because I do wonder, how would you guys react if you were in that situation, right? And your baby daddy or whatever kept on bringing new people to live with your children. Like, I would be absolutely terrified of that. I would be fighting tooth and nail. And we know Javi's got the money, right? Like, he's got his military money. He's got his Teen Mom money. Lauren's got her pyramid scheme money, right? And her influencer money. They can put that money together and fight Kail, right? But it's just sad. Keisha says, we did see Becky front and center at the game. Listen, don't be surprised if you hear those two are hunching one day. Steph says, it's time for the dads to get primary custody. Not going to lie, this is a dangerous game she's playing. And I think so too, right? I do think that Kail loves her kids, but I think Kail is severely unwell, right? And her pattern and history of recklessly reproducing with random people is evidence of that. And her pattern in history of moving them or introducing them to her children like super quickly is also evidence of that. Like she's put these children in very, very dangerous situations, y'all. Very, very, very dangerous situations. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Is awesome. Just says, where does she keep finding these men? It seems like every time she breaks up with one, she has another one. Exactly. I don't get it. I'm sorry, but it's like Beyonce says, must be the cash. Must be the cash. Listen, it's the cash. Look at the men she's getting with, right? Like for example, Chris has an education. However, Chris doesn't want to work, right? At least he didn't want to work when he got with Kail. So maybe that was an incentive to him. He wanted to profit off of her. And he kind of bragged on his Instagram live about how he managed to get more out of Kail than Elijah did. Gold digger, right? I think Elijah's going to try to go for child support or something, or maybe he's got his own issues. And now this guy, like apparently he is in arrears on his child support. You got to do what you got to do. Listen, there are a lot of men out there who are willing to do something strange for a little bit of change. You've heard about the Dirty Johns. You've heard about these like romance scammers, the Tinder swindlers and whatnot. Ladies, you got to keep your purses extra close. Men are the new gold diggers these days. They will do anything for some coin, right? And so when they see women, vulnerable women like Kail Lowry, so desperate for love that they're willing to buy it, they're going to use you as a target. And I think that is what has happened here. But that's all I know for now, you guys. You know, it's just a crash out going on. She's still promising to talk about it on her podcasts eventually. Right now, she's hiding behind her therapist. She says that her therapist says that she needs to process things before she goes ahead and talks about them publicly. So we'll have to, go ahead and wait and see how long until she speaks out about it. But don't forget, the little that she said about it so far has been very manipulative, and she's omitted a lot of things and sidestepped the most important parts of Javi's rant. So to me, again, the man having a new boyfriend, the children meeting the new boyfriend, and the boyfriend moving in are the most important things that she should have been addressing. But because she's addressed everything else except that, I don't care about anything else she has to say, right? That's already an admission of guilt as far as I'm concerned. I don't know about y'all, but to me, she practically admitted to it all. But I digress.